County Administrator's report.
All right, good morning, everybody. The first thing we need to do today is the certification of extortions and revenue, levies and revenue for all the taxing districts within the county for the year 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I can go page by page if you'd like.
You sent them. You sent them out in that file where we could look at each one of them
Yeah,
individually.
schools, county, city.
I don't think I need to go individually today. Well, then I would like to move that the Board of Montezuma County Commissioners do the certification of levies and revenues for the fiscal year 2021 for Montezuma County.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the certification of levies and revenue for Montezuma County for the year of 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And next thing I'll have is transfer order 9-2020 to transfer the per capita rate of $1.50 from the general fund to the health department in the amount of $39,274.50.
And okay, this is from the DOLA. So I would move that we accept order number 9/2020 of the transfer of $39,274.50 from general fund to the public health
Second.
fund.
Oh, sorry. Second.
Motion and a second to approve order number 9-2020, transfer order for $39,274 from the general fund to public health fund for the 2020 per capita calculations. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we know when we're going to get our census report? When they're going to let the census numbers
I
out?
don't know.
Huh.
I don't know. Sometime soon, I would imagine.
I would hope.
My next item is order number 10-2020, transfer order. Transfer $75,038.79 from Conservation Trust Fund to General Fund for the operation of the county fairgrounds from January 1st through December 11th, 2020. This covers 50% of the salaries and benefits for the staff out there.
Mm-hmm. I would like to move order 10-2020, the transfer of $75,038.79 from the Conservation Trust Fund to the General Fund for the operation of the Montezuma County Fairgrounds, January 1, 2020 through December 11, 2020.
Second.
Motion second to approve order number 10-2020, transfer order of an amount of $75,038.79 from the Conservation Trust Fund to the General Fund for the operation of the county fairgrounds from January 1st, 2020 through December 11th, 2020. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next one I have for you is transfer order 11-2020. This is a transfer of $631,028.04 from the Law Enforcement Authority Fund to County General Fund for actual expenses from January 2020 through December 11th, 2020.
So I move we accept order number 11/2020 for the transfer of $631,028.04 from the LEA fund to the county general fund for 2020 LEA actual expenses from January 2020 through December 11th, 2020.
Second.
Motion second to approve order number 11-2020, a transfer order of $631,028.04 from the LEA fund to the county general fund for the 2020 LEA actual expenses from January 2020 through December 11th, 2020. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next thing I have for the commissioners is the mini excavator that the county agreed to rent for the noxious weed department from Wagner. Apparently they need a resolution to lease these now, so
Shaq, is this similar to the lease we have with Wagner on the on the motor graders for the county? Is it a similar type of lease deal? Or do you
Yeah,
know?
it's a 3-year lease, but
3 year,
apparently they
there you
need a
go.
resolution now. So
Yeah.
I just copied and pasted their resolution and called it
Yeah.
Resolution 25-2020.
Okay.
I think this is more of a, yeah, it's the same, it's a purchase agreement, but it's taken
Yeah,
over
it's,
those
it's on that
period of
3-year
years,
magic
right?
schedule
what
that
is
John
it?
Deere, that Cat and
What do we
Deere
need
and
it
all of
for?
them have figured out works. And
When he calls into Zoom, all I have to do
Because
is
we had
admit him.
agreed, like, 3 or 4 months, or whenever it was presented to us.
yeah, from Bonnie.
To purchase that.
Yeah.
I think it was a 308.
Sorry, I'm going to have to quiet some of these phones.
Hello?
I would then I
Hello?
would move. I would
Hold on a
move-
minute.
Hey, Matt, it's me. Brandon?
I would move the resolution 25-2020,
Hello?
a governmental entity resolution lease purchase from.
Hello?
Be quiet, would ya? From Caterpillar Financial Services Corporation of Montezuma County for a mini excavator for our weed department.
Second.
Motion second to approve a resolution
Oh.
25-2020, a resolution to
keep
approve a
muting
lease
him. He
agreement
keeps
with
unmuting
Wagner
himself.
Equipment for a period of 3 years for a mini excavator for the Montezuma County Weed Department. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and that will conclude my report at this time.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Powers. We will now go to planning with Don Haley and Jane for the presentation or discussion of 49 Square Adventures. Good morning, guys.
Morning,
Morning.
Jane. Morning, Don.
Good morning, how are you guys?
We're good. How are you?
Good. This public hearing is for, or not public hearing, but this review hearing is for the end of the year compliance review for the certificate of designation of 49 Square Ventures located on Road 39 in Mancos.
Mm-hmm.
I think, don't we usually do roll call and kind of announce it as a public hearing? Because initially, they were set for a public hearing, and we keep continuing this. Is that right?
I believe so, that's correct.
So I think we should ought to make a record that we're all here, and
Okay.
who's on the phone.
So you want me to call the roll?
Sure.
Wake up, Kim. Wake up, Kim. Wake up. Okay. Commissioner Zugla.
Here.
Commissioner Tell.
Present.
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney Baxter.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. We have Ed Smith, R. Perilla, R. Peterson, Heather Barber, MHF, and then several phone numbers. I don't know who those people are.
Who's here for this?
The first
All
four are
of them
from
are here for
CDPHE.
It's CDPHE, a hydrology company out of Durango, and then representatives from 49 Squares.
Okay. Thank you.
All right,
And-
thank you, Kent. Now that we've did that officially, we'll go on to the year-end review.
So I think now I guess, Mr. Bradshaw, would you like to present where you are, what you've accomplished, and where you sit with CDPHE?
I don't know where he's at.
Are you there, Mr. Bradshaw?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you now.
I
with
hit
Mr.
start, it says unmute, and then it keeps muting me, so I apologize. I don't know if it's a dial-in or what, but anyway, how's everybody doing? Sorry about
Great.
that.
Doing good.
Good.
Good. So I think we're doing great. You know, I think for the first time in the history, we've got our year-end report in 5 months early, as opposed to 5 months late, right? You know, we're moving along fine. We're selling product. We're about, we've submitted everything to CDPHE, I believe, that everything's that they've asked for and everything's on the up and up to my knowledge. I've got no correspondence from them of otherwise. I spoke to Heather last week, and we kind of introduced each other and kind of look forward to working together. So in regards to CDPHE, I think we're pretty good, to my knowledge. As far as sales, if you want to go with sales, we are tentatively entering into the company that gave us a $20,000 order. We're in kind of negotiation with them to take all of the material, and we're just in the negotiation process of how that would look. And our goal would be with them to have all the material off the site, if they do it, to have all the material off the site within less than 18 months. But the customer is eager to do it. They have a strong demand for our material, so it's looking good. But worst case scenario, they're going to enter into another $20,000 order from us. Since we last spoke, I think we've moved 9,300 yards out of there. I'm waiting for a total for end of December for our quarterly, how much we moved off, totals. But yeah, we've been moving along. Everything's looking good. The site is way much cleaner looking, and I think we're finally on the up and up.
All right, thank you. Do we have a response from somebody with CD?
So I'd like to ask a CDPHE if you could just tell us where 49 Squares now stands with their groundwater monitoring, their surface water, and their legacy waste reduction.
This is Ed Smith with CDPHE. Do you want to address that since you just got the most recent groundwater report?
Yeah, this is Bob Peterson. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Bob Peterson. I'm the permit and compliance person from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment. I was the lead inspector for the July 2020 inspection, and I have received the 2020 groundwater monitoring report. We received it December 8th. I am happy to report that the monitoring was conducted consistent with the current requirements. The report did include what would be called a baseline conditions for the groundwater quality. We have not done a full technical review of the document. However, we only got it a couple weeks ago, but it does not appear that the baseline is approvable at this point. They did include all of the data collected to date through the end of 2020. Typically a baseline, includes 2 or 3 years of data, and then you do your compliance comparisons. Also, they didn't really establish baseline doing outliers and trend analysis in accordance with the approved plan. But again, it's a huge step forward that they've at least attempted to submit a baseline report. And I think it's something we can work on in 2021 to actually get some compliance comparisons done. Previously, the county has asked us about impacts to groundwater, and at this time, we cannot say whether there's been impacts to groundwater because the baseline hasn't been finalized. So What else, Shaq? You asked about the legacy
So
waste.
I asked about the groundwater and I asked about the surface water. My understanding was there was an exceedance of arsenic in the third quarter. However, that's the only quarter where there was water in the pond. And so, and then I also asked how they're doing with their legacy waste reduction schedule.
Yeah. Their legacy waste reduction, the only thing we've received is the 2019 composting report. So our last, all the data we have shows that they're probably have around 78,000 cubic yards remaining, which makes them compliant with their legacy waste reduction schedule. But we haven't seen the numbers for 2020. It sounds like they're having a good year. So we'll look forward to getting that composting report for the year. And then I believe surveying, I thought maybe Matt was doing surveying, but we haven't received anything on that, so.
So, Bob, this is Commissioner Candelaria. I have one real basic question. As of right now with this latest report, it sounds like they are in compliance so that we can continue to move forward with this process through 2021, as you just stated. Is that correct?
Did you say in compliance overall?
No, I didn't say that. They are in compliant with what we asked for right now to continue on into 2021, which was first to get this baseline.
They have submitted baseline. That's correct. It is not approvable, but it's a good step forward.
What do you mean it's not approvable? This is Commissioner Ertel. What do you mean it's not approvable? That means you haven't gotten to it, or what?
No, it means they didn't follow their currently approved statistics plan and develop the baseline that we're really looking for, which is usually 2 to 3 years of data, and then you compare the following data with the baseline. So what they've done is monitored for 8 years and submitted a baseline of the data collected to date. So what we were really looking for was a baseline established, at the end of 2018, maybe something earlier, and then they do a couple comparisons. So at this point in time, we have no comparisons of any data to a baseline.
Landon Beck, are you on the phone and would you like to respond to that?
I'm just glad that we don't use that type of baseline for the COVID-19 vaccine. Thank God we had warp speed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Is that
it sounds like we're in compliance.
hydrologist?
Yeah, we've got a baseline established. May not be exactly what CDPHE wants, the 8 years or whatever they're wanting prior to that, but we do have a baseline established, and one that has the baseline that was presented this year is approvable by you. Is that correct, Mr. Peterson?
The baseline that was presented to us is not approvable.
Because you don't have other baselines to compare it to? Is that what you're talking about?
That is the baseline. So,
So
Oh,
it
man.
starts
Are you
now and
charging
moves-
these guys
starts now and moves
$125
forward.
an hour to read their documents and all that stuff that you
Yes,
haven't
sir.
gotten to yet?
yes, sir.
That's ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous.
So,
Make a motion to approve this damn thing. Get them out of here. I'm tired of listening to this.
And so this is John Baxter, and really all the county, I think, was concerned with was whether or not they're in compliance with CDPHE. That's it. We don't have any
Okay.
additional requirements. And
Right.
And
Right.
I think that we're hearing that at least my understanding is the bottom line is no, but you guys think that they're doing better than they were doing before, and they're on their way to compliance. And I feel like it's ridiculous for us to keep having these review hearings. I mean, we need to just either get this off of our docket and schedule, or we need to say, look, they're not in compliance with CDPHE and revoke, basically just revoke their certificate of compliance or certificate of designation. I mean, one option would be to say, all right, we're not going to review this anymore until or unless we get a notification from CDPHE saying they're out of compliance. We're going to have one more hearing sometime in the future, and none of this, long back and forth of wishy-washy, vague, well, we have this, we don't have this. It's either a yes or no. We revoke the certificate of designation, or we don't care, and we let it go on, or you guys can do that right now. But it seems, I think, redundant and a waste of time to hear basically the same thing every few months.
Yes. I would like to move that Montezuma County grant the certificate of designation to 49 Squares to continue their operation, their composting operations.
And I'll second that.
Motion is second to approve 49 Squares.
This is Bob Peterson. Can I make any more comments?
No.
Well, I've got a motion on the floor. We
Yeah.
need to continue with that, and then you can. There's been a motion and a second to approve that 49 Squares in compliance in Montezuma County. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Go ahead now, Mr. Peterson.
Well, the questions that I was asked by Shaq Powers, I answered. But overall, we did issue a compliance advisory in July 2020 that had, I believe, 7 violations. And we had 5 requested actions for 49 Square Ventures. And those requested actions were to be submitted by November 22nd, 2020. We have not received anything from 49 Square Ventures on that compliance advisory. So that remains outstanding. And so, there's other items involved besides the baseline of groundwater quality. So they really are not in compliance at this point for numerous reasons.
All right. Well, Mr.
Can I cut in here?
Go ahead.
This is Matt Bradshaw. Bob, you were on our last hearing, and we did address those items, and Ed said that he was, everything was fine on those infractions that we addressed, and they were all addressed, and that was addressed on the last meeting back in September or October, whenever that last meeting was, and we were all clear on that. You did address those. You were given information on it, and that was off the table since our last meeting.
For your information,
I
Mr.
don't-
Bradshaw, those have to be addressed in writing usually.
Anyway, there.
Sorry about.
Go ahead. It's getting interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Ed Smith. Yeah, I don't know if we went through the compliance advisory during the last meeting in July. I can't really remember, but nonetheless, 49 Square Ventures owed us a written response indicating how they corrected those issues. And as Bob said, there were issues in the former or the last compliance order that were never met, and there are still groundwater compliance issues. But it would be nice to get a response to that compliance advisory. It was July 20th, 2020.
Well, Mr. Smith, maybe you could just take the advice of the county administrator and put it in writing. We remember some of the things. There was a fence that needed to be rebuilt, and some things like that. But could you do that, Mr. Smith?
Mr. Bradshaw, I
Or
guess
Mr.
that'd be
Bradshaw?
the one doing
Sorry, yeah, I didn't hear the last response.
If you could put it in writing, I guess, write a quick note to the CDPHE that you had worked on those non-compliant issues. Did you hear that, Mr. Bradshaw?
If that was Matt talking, I couldn't hear him. He was breaking up.
It was Larry Don Sukla, Commissioner Sukla,
Okay,
the
I'm
chairman
sorry.
of the board, and he wants you to put your response to CDPHE's compliance findings in writing so that they have a written record of your response.
Okay, we'll do that ASAP. The reason they weren't submitted is because 5 of the 6 were inaccurate infractions. They weren't correct, or 4. I don't have it in front of me. I apologize because I thought this was over and done, so I'm sorry. But there was like 4 or 5 of them that were, one of them being the seepage, Landon found that was not, I'll submit it in writing, no problem. It's very simple. I'll have that to them by,
When will you submit it in
after
writing?
Christmas next week.
Next week.
Okay, anything else, commissioners?
No.
Nope. Let's,
At this time, we're going to close this public hearing. The compliance commission, or it was granted, and we're going to go on to our agenda. Anything else with planning? All right, thank you, gentlemen, on the phone, and all of you have a
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thanks, fellas. Have a wonderful holiday.
You too.
Okay.
Merry
bye.
Christmas.
Bye.
All right, Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay, now we have public comment. If anybody would like to comment, please come up to the microphone and state your name and address. Okay, seeing none, we'll go to Public Safety and Sheriff Steve Nowlin. Good morning.
good morning.
I can push a button. Does it work? Hello? Yep, works. See? You thought I was non-technical.
Trying to
Usually
switch
am.
over to station 2 so you can remote in, but it appears not to be switching right at the moment, so give me just a second.
I'm so sick. I'm so sick of them. I tell you what. I don't ever want to talk to them ever again. Ever.
There we go, I think it's working now.
Something went wrong.
Not unless you're-
Even at Christmas. Couldn't connect.
Shack should be where it needs to be for the sheriff.
Yes, it says he should connect by pressing the Windows plus K.
What?
That's
What did you say?
Windows plus potassium.
Window button plus K is what it says. I can press it on mine, but I think that'll connect me instead of you.
Just says it still won't connect. Gee, Merry Christmas.
You got any good jokes while you're trying to?
I can't say it.
Comment about the Bernalillo County Sheriff of New Mexico. He's ruffling feathers.
Oh, is he? What's the Bernalillo County Sheriff doing?
It's the most populous county in the state of Mexico, and he told the governor that he was also following any.
I know, but I can't keep up with you.
I like Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, yeah. Saying you can spout all them orders you want, but I ain't gonna be backing them up for you, huh? I think that's exactly what our governor gets to be told.
So what did the sheriff in Bernalillo do?
He came out in a message and just said that he's going to fight crime. That's what his deputies and his job is.
Can he
Right.
whistle with a Texas accent?
That's
You're not a sheriff
Exactly
unless you
right.
can whistle with a Texas accent.
Well, Steve.
What?
Steve, y'all.
What?
What do you need, y'all?
Oh. That's not working.
This might be
Me.
the shortest presentation the sheriff's going to give me.
Well, I've got it on my iPad. Of course, that Shaq sent it to us.
Says it wouldn't connect. How, oh, this thing is, I can tell you what it is. Yeah.
Ooh,
See,
hey,
it
we got a
shocked you.
nice new picture.
Is
Looks
that-
like the volcano in
That's
Hawaii. Yeah,
connected.
it's flowing lava
Let's
down
try.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Montezuma County office. Let's see what happens.
Well, that's just your internet, though.
Yeah.
Connect you to the room.
No.
If we do this,
Bill, yeah.
Should go to connect.
connect, searching for wireless.
Right there.
BOCC, click that one.
Watch this. Here he comes. Because he knows.
Isaac, good morning, man.
What's up? Thanks for
See,
walking
man,
in the
he's-
room.
Thanks,
All he has to
Isaac.
do is
You
walk
did a
in
good
the
job,
room
buddy.
And it starts connecting, man.
Way to go.
He's
You
got the
are
La Magia.
you are the man.
The mojo.
Okay? See?
He got the mojo.
I think he's got some. He does. He has a remote in his pocket.
There you go.
Gee whiz. All right, let's start this all over again.
I'm gonna tell you, man, in November, you had a whole bunch of calls, man. Like,
Yep.
how many were there?
There was
Gee,
1,210, which is actually low, mainly because I'm still cutting back on a lot of those reportings because of the dispatch fees.
Yeah.
So, but we're just dealing with some burglaries, domestic violence,
Traffic stop.
thefts, a lot of traffic stops, a lot of traffic contacts. DUIs are up, it's hidden season.
Shots fired.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, you having some.
It's getting
gunplay?
western out there,
Oh,
okay?
getting some gunplay out there?
I'm just telling you, all right?
I like that,
Hey,
Steve.
Steve, do you have a percentage of your DV, what that's up?
Domestic what?
Violence?
Domestic violence, DV.
Yeah, your DV.
Yeah, we're having a lot of that. That's what fills up a lot of our holding cells, is for domestic violence arrests.
In comparison to last month or last year, do you have any?
I'll have compiled all of the information, calls for next month, for the year. A lot of disturbances, dealing a lot more with a lot more civil processing too now. Everybody's filing protection orders against everybody else, and yeah, so it's been very busy. It's really nonstop.
It shows you had 8 domestic violence calls in November.
Mhm. We had, so that's about right. Anywhere
About
from
an average of that.
yeah.
round about that, yeah.
Yeah. So, control burns, had 11 calls for those in November. As far as the fire at Aspen Wallwood, it's contained. It's going to burn for weeks, if not months, until it's out. But it's not going
Kind of
in.
like a coal seam fire. It's down in there.
It's down in the ground there. That's been there for over 50 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Okay. So,
A lot of material.
they were talking about the owner told me he was gonna mitigate that. I don't think he has to worry about it now. It's mitigating itself. So, but when the fire department first arrived and whatnot, using the infrared devices, they could actually see the blue fire deep below, and it was all along that ridge. It's probably burned for some time. I'm just really thankful, we all are, that it happened when it did, and not during the summer, not during the fall. It would have been, we
Fresh
would
snow
have
on
had
the
a major
ground,
Lost
right.
Canyon fire. Yeah.
It's a,
You're right. That could have turned into a real mess.
Yes, it would have, and a lot of
Our
homes and
conditions were
subdivisions right around there. I'll tell you, it
extraordinary.
could have been really nasty. So I'm really thankful, and we're blessed to have that not happen. So, and I appreciate everybody's responses. It was a multi-agency, multi-fire district mutual aid response. A lot of long hours from the first report all the way until the next morning. But we got that fire line around that morning, and that really helped. So those dozers and the operators need to be commended because they did a great job. That was tough country to cut a line around. So, yeah, it takes experience. So, I don't know where Ace went, but
One of them was one of Rob's.
I think
Yes.
it was Rob.
Yeah.
And one came from
Stone
Stone
gravel, yeah. And then they brought in 2 others, I guess. One of their cats or skidders from up above Jersey Gym, where they had been logging and stuff. So they got it done. So, and they moved a lot of their material out. So there was no material loss. So
Business is still up and running fine. It didn't have
Yeah.
didn't get into
no,
their
as
saw.
far they're still going. So the smoke is going to be there. Like I said, it's going to last a long time. Okay.
I think we'd have a weekend weenie roast up there.
It could.
Every weekend.
Well, I wouldn't get too close to it because you never know how deep that
I'll
is.
bet you might-
And that's why we couldn't. There's no way of putting it out. There's no way. Loss of life is not worth that. So, yeah, you never know. Falling through, yeah, could be really dangerous. So your November numbers for the detention center. You can see that we started out the month with 78 up to 81, 82 during that first week. Starts to go down. Right now we have 71 currently today. And in this next sheet I'll show you, like I always have, the arrests and the released on a daily basis. So it's back and forth. We get a lot in, a lot go out, in and out, in and out. And these are all mandatory arrests or felony crimes of class 3 felony or above. Any sex crimes, we have some in there for that. These are the ones that we want to make sure that these people that commit these crimes, such as the one that took place up on Hay Camp Mesa last month, from an individual that attacked a woman up there in a vehicle. We got him apprehended. And that took us about 3 days, but we had good witnesses that helped, and that community support out there really gave us good information about where to find this person. He had broke into some property and a cabin up there, and that's where we arrested him at. Dangerous individual. So those are the kind of people we need to keep out of our community, and unfortunately he'll probably be there for some time. But as you can see, our numbers go up and down. I have not opened it back up into stages again. I just want to see what this COVID outcome will be, but we're still COVID free, and that's the way I want to keep it. So don't have any problems with that. For transports, they're down. We're only going after the major felony crimes. Only had one out of Salt Lake City that was wanted here that we transported. The others have been just out of the county area transports that you saw. So we were able to save a lot of money in transport line item this year. Let's see. In fact, I just had a hit this morning. A Massachusetts state trooper called me about an individual that there was a class 5 felony for a probation violation, and I told him that they could keep him. So until he gets a little closer. It's like just the expense of going after somebody that far is too much to justify. The city of Cortez, we only had 2 arrests in there. You can see a total of 5 days. Their courts won't open up until next month, in the latter part of January, I believe it was. For Dolores County, we still only have of the one inmate that was in and out. This will be the good one for you. Most of these folks are going to probably end up out of DOC sentencing, will probably end up serving most of their sentences in the Montezuma County Detention Center because DOC is still shut down. in all of their prisons and intakes.
Is that the same DOC that doesn't pay us the full rate?
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
$57.97. Heck of a motel bill. However, we made the mistake once where they accepted one, transported this prisoner up there, and that was apparently, to not our knowledge, was to actually process for release. And they tried to do that last week, and I said, send us the paperwork and we'll release them from here. Okay, I'm not going to send 2 deputies up there in a vehicle just so you can release them in Denver.
Yeah.
They came down and got him. So,
Good for them. Good for
to
them.
take him up there and release him. So, you know, I don't know what that is.
CDPHE, by any chance?
Do what?
Oh, never.
No, no.
No,
It's
wrong
the Department of Corrections. You know, and I know they've got a real mess on their hands. They do. I get it.
They are a mess.
So they were billed $10,086.78 for November stays and inmates days. Dolores County was they had 1 inmate for 2 days. Dolores and Mancos, none. Cortez had those 2 inmates for 5 days, and that was at $375. So that's what was billed. This is what was collected and went into the general fund. Booking fees, of course, are down. Let's see. We did collect $11,304 for October inmates from Department of Corrections. We're still collecting. We're doing really well with pretrial. Is still getting better. They're starting to actually start to pay up now for those people that are on pretrial, so that's helping quite a bit. Just so that you know, I am seeing a lot of legislative action about reduction of inmates in detention centers and jails around the state, as well as in the state prison system. I'll tell you, 2021 is going to be interesting for all of us. Okay. So I'm not sure how that'll all pan out. I really don't. It's one way to save money, but the thing is that the people that we have in there, they're not being held because they can't post a bond. They're held there because of the crimes have been charged with. So that's the most important thing, because we have seen time and time again where some of these career individuals will, once they're released, they're back into committing crimes again, and that it means that we are creating victims again in our community. And you know, until they get through the process, and because the courts are basically closed down for a while, it's going to be a little bit. So come spring, early summer, we're going to be busy, okay? And we may be full. I'm just anticipating that like I did last summer, but it didn't happen so much. We were able to control some of it. But it's going to be a challenge for all of us. It really will be. So anything else? Questions? Size? Christmas gifts? Anything like that? No? Okay.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys.
Sheriff, maybe next month when you bring the compilation of all of the 2020, can you compare it to 2019 for us?
Thank you.
At this time, we have our coroner, Mr. George Devers. Good morning, Mr. Devers. How are you? Doing good.
Good.
Hey, okay.
Compared to what?
Because everything's relative.
Is that on?
Correct.
It is now. Okay. I'm still tired of this. Our suicides have gone up. We're at 11 now. and we've had 3 of them since Thanksgiving. Motor vehicle accidents, we're still standing at 2. We've had 3 pedestrians killed this year, which is about 2 more than normal. Overdoses, we're at 6. One of them, we should have been 7, but the guy choked on meat before the drugs took him. So that's kind of where we're at as far as deaths. I've set a new record this year. I'm 6 above the highest we've ever been. And
Overall, you mean? Or?
overall, yeah,
Than we've ever been.
than we've ever been, yeah.
The suicides, I thought, and I might be misremembering this, but I thought we were averaging around 12. Is that right?
We average around 12.
So we're still under if we can hold off.
We're
for
still
the
under if
next
we can
week or
hold
so.
on to 11.
Don't go challenging
I'm
anybody,
hoping for
please,
that.
John.
We had one in January, then we went till, it was either March or April without a suicide, and then everything started coming on after that, so. And I thought we were gonna finish off good till Thanksgiving hit, so. Some holiday seasons, we have several, some, last year we had 0. So I'd like to stop at where we're at and not have any more. But the state, they're still messed up with how they call COVID deaths, and I don't know. I don't understand it. You know, we had one gentleman that committed suicide that was positive, asymptomatic. He had taken another COVID test, was tested negative. And then after that, I believe he was 24 days in from the positive test whenever he committed suicide, and the state still calls that COVID death within 30 days of a positive test.
Just to be clear, on our website, that's somebody who died with COVID and not from
Yes,
COVID, right? I just
exactly,
want to make sure that
exactly.
we're not.
And there's
Well,
several of
and
those in
actually, he didn't even die with COVID. He'd recovered from COVID.
there. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, he tested negative before his death, so.
I don't understand why those are even on there.
I don't
It
either. They don't
doesn't-
do that with heart
it's
disease. They don't do it
relevant
with
to nothing.
influenza. They don't do it with cancer. They don't track anything like that other than COVID.
So,
And
Have we had anybody die from flu?
not that I've seen. Not that I've seen. Usually the flu is hospitalized for a while before they pass away, and it's not a coroner's case. But there is some influenza out there. You know, usually I'll get a couple of influenza deaths a year that I respond to, and it's just because normally they're elderly people, they refuse to go to the hospital, and they pass away at home. So I've yet to see those. Those usually come January, February-ish. So.
All right. Anything else?
I'm by your yard periodically or fairly regularly. I see a boat and a trailer parked in the sheriff's got his equipment yard in the back, and there's a boat and a trailer parked out in the front of your, or the front of
That's
that
my
fence.
fishing boat and my snowmobile trailer.
Okay. I just wanted to check that out, yeah.
Thanks to all the precipitation, he's got no use for either.
Yeah. Yeah, hoping we can use it. No, is that one the emergency
rescue?
trailer?
Rescue boat,
Yep, and the other is the sheriff's patrol boat.
patrol boat. I figured as much.
And I can't get the keys to either one of them.
And he won't let you have it, you can't get into any
I
of
won't give you
them.
the-
Ain't doing you no good, man. Ain't doing you no good.
Well, George, have a Merry Christmas.
And
All
get
right.
rid of that burnt
Yeah.
truck. I don't know why you got a fried truck out.
Yeah, I thought you were going by there every day.
That was the
I never
Christmas
did.
party. We
I
had a
go by there
barbecue.
bunch. Who burnt the truck up? Dope deal?
Not without suspect. Yep. Steals it and burns
Okay.
All right.
it. Keys.
You guys
Thank
have a
you,
good day.
George.
Merry
Your
Christmas.
lab still
Merry
working good?
Christmas.
Pardon?
Your lab still working good?
Oh, it's working awesome.
Good.
Working awesome. We still have one gentleman in there. I haven't heard any response back from that guy, so,
I warned Shaq.
okay. We had a person pass away, been almost a month ago now. I've only had him for 15 days. He does have a son. He tells me he lives out of the United States. He was going to take care of it. Now he's consulting legal advice. But,
Gonna leave Dad with you, huh?
yeah, but,
Nice.
the guy does have some money in some accounts and stuff, and by law, we can garnish that to take care of the.
Judge can do that for you, can he? Yeah.
So I got John involved in it, and
Good.
so.
And we
whenever-
did set up that line item for people who are
Yeah.
deceased without
Indigent.
whatever.
Basically,
So
it
we
falls
have-
on us if nobody covers it, but we can go after accounts and
Sure,
garnish if we think
absolutely.
it's worthwhile.
Yeah. I emailed him on Friday. He said that I should hear something by the end of the day, and I still haven't heard anything else from him, so.
Well, if you can disclose, what was the cause of death?
Still under investigation.
Okay, so no way we can pay for it out of the CARES Act?
Pardon?
No way we can pay for it out of the CARES Act, the Coronavirus Relief Fund?
No, I'm not gonna
Okay.
put it on there.
Okay.
All right, thank you, George.
All right,
All right,
thanks.
we'll see you guys.
The DA's next, but I don't see him, so, but I know who is.
Emergency
punching here,
manager.
And that would be.
Jim.
Jim Spratlin.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about you guys?
Doing well.
Good.
Good. On your way out pretty soon, are you? A couple of you?
Couple more meetings, bud. Yep, couple of more.
Well, I keep sending you invites. I'm just waiting for you to just stay on, you know? Yeah. Good morning, Kim, John, and Shaq.
Good morning.
So, before I drop all this one more time, the sheriff went over quite a few things, and so did George, so that's good. Yes, we still have COVID. Yes, we're still dealing with it. I think one of the concerns that we have is that the flu season, as George alluded to, is January, February. And I remember I was reading a lot of different reports from 2017 to 2018, that winter, and then 18 through 19, and they were showing a lot of influenza in the hospitals, attacking people that had cardiac problems, and people were dying. And the hospitals were full as well. So with that and a little bit of corona that's out there, we're probably going to see an increase in that, but right now they're showing a decrease across Colorado on hospitalizations right now. They're starting to drop, and the spread rate as well. In our county, it goes up, it goes down, it's kind of a mix. The report that I gave you guys was 9 hospital beds were available. This morning, there's 13 available. We had 6 COVID patients on Friday. We have 4 today. So that's up and down, just like the inmates. It goes up and down. Not too much difference, but it ranges anywhere from 0 to 13 available beds. So the vaccine, looks like the hospital got close to their 300. They've been using the vaccine doses to their employees. They're still working on them today. So they had around 300. We were supposed to get 100 doses for the health department and another 200 of Moderna. And that was supposed to be Monday. That was delayed. It's supposed to be today. That's delayed. So we're hoping to get them tomorrow. And then we're going to start working on healthcare workers and the emergency responders. And that'll be next week sometime. So that'll be coming out.
George, did you get in line to get you and your deputies vaccinated, or you're not gonna concern yourself with that? Okay.
We don't have anybody on our fire department that wants the vaccine. We can give it to the elderly or somebody else who wants it.
Gotcha.
So we're getting the list, and we're trying to put them together, and then we're going to go from there. And we're hoping that we get done with that phase 1A and B. And it's not the state. The feds are now confusing us with 1C and all these other things that are going on. So we're just going to follow what we know is probably the best thing to follow, and we're just going to move ahead. And then we'll deal with whatever happens down the road. But we're going to continually get these doses of Moderna, I think every week. And then we'll get the second dose in as well. So
So the Johnson, which is the one that has to be kept so cold, Are you getting that as well?
No more Pfizer.
More Pfizer. I think
Oh.
everything now will be the Moderna.
Yeah, the
just
super
because of
cold,
the
I think we're
volatility
done.
of it.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting the other one that can
Is
last.
Moderna a two-shot
Yes, sir.
vaccination as
Yep,
well? One
it's the
and then
same.
a delay and another shot? Okay.
And we're going to work on that in January, and probably the very 1st of February, we'll be done with the second doses. So then we can start looking at the community and start working on. I'm hopeful. Healthcare facilities, we're working with them closely to try to keep that COVID out of their area. We're helping them to, if some of their staff, we'll put them in a non-congregant shelter, keep them from exposing themselves to their families as well. So we're still working on a lot of that. Our long-term recovery, ongoing. Access Health is really working hard at getting a lot of information out there to the public to help them. I don't like any suicides at all, and hopefully we stay at that level until, hopefully it stays like that for 0 next year. It'd be really nice. But Access Health is working very hard at trying to reach out to people that have problems or anxiety issues and depression. And then Tri-Chambers, doing a lot of programs, working with the businesses. We're setting up, they're setting up websites for them to help enhance their business. And we're using the students, Pueblo Community College, other students that know how to build websites and assisting the businesses for free. So we're trying to put that together. They have those e-gift cards, et cetera. Looking like our county, overall, this is my figures, they're still working on the final figures, but we're around $973,000 that we've spent for COVID, and $488,000 are those grants that we gave out to the businesses. And we still got some more items we're going to give out to the businesses.
Correct. And
Yep.
I talked to Susan yesterday from the MBT, the Montezuma Business Task Force. She wants to do one more survey like we did in the beginning of what businesses are seeing and what they need, and what Jim has ordered. He found another a product basically in gallon jugs along with some sprayers to help disinfect businesses if they need it. So her hope is to try and get people, more of the businesses, to respond to this poll so that we can really see where they're at, what their needs are, and then be able to
Provide the stuff for them.
Yeah, get some free gifts out there, kind of a raffle, Come one, come all, and then we'll start seeing what we can give out, so.
to get the information, and then
Right.
to actually give them something in regards to it that they can utilize actually in their businesses. So I did have that conversation yesterday.
Oh,
with her,
good,
Jim.
good. Yeah, she mentioned something yesterday that she was gonna call you, so, okay. Road G, still got some water issues out there, but it's passable, so we're still good out there. To me, that's a pretty good artery for our area to get in and out, and we don't want that to kind of wash away, so they're still working on that. Housing, sheltering, we're still keeping that going, and for one of the things that I'm looking into now is the CARES Act is going away. Funding will probably go back to that public assistance, that FEMA public assistance, and that's 75-25, which means we got to come up with the 25. But I'm in contact with several people. One is Patrick from DOLA. I've got some CDPHE. We're looking at some emergency solution grants. They're called ESGs. They pay a little more than that 75-25. So we may be able to get involved in that. They're kind of a HUD grant. And then there's only rumor, that they may come up with some other additional funding for 2021. But we're not sure what that's going to look like and how that plays out. We have the BRIC funding for the mitigation work and various odds and ends, but I'm still looking into additional funding for the 2021, because I don't think COVID's going to go away.
Well, not with that attitude.
Well, I know. I'm trying.
He's out there promoting it. Hunting
Yeah.
money for it.
Yeah. So, again, 1,065 positive out of what, 10,001? And I know that's gone up. And we mentioned the 10 deaths with COVID that some are still skeptical on one of those, or maybe two of those, and then we have 5 with COVID. Any questions, gentlemen? We've been pretty busy, still got more to go.
I like the modeling curves that you sent us for the new modeling group is doing, and all
Oh.
of the trends on those curves are all down, which you kind of alluded to
Yep.
earlier, for hospitalization, for the infectious rate, which is positive. So I think all of the fear that was presented for Thanksgiving didn't happen, which is great. And I don't. Their curves, everything still shows to be on a downward trend, which is positive. Which
Yeah, I had
is the
a-
new modeling group that they put together. This is only the second piece of data that I've seen from that new modeling group, and I
Right.
think
Right, yeah.
that's all we've seen.
So once we get those, I'll try to send them out. I think it shows us what's going on. I think it's important to know that it's dropping. It's encouraging, I think. And I've talked to the doc and a few others, everybody's encouraged by it. They're holding their breath to see what happens, when we get through the January. I think the issue is that we may be dropping on the COVID, but the flu may come and hit us a little bit in January. But we're prepared. We got a lot of PPE from the state. My CDPHE people,
Hope they're different than ones we had.
they're wonderful, and
They charge you $125 an hour to read your stuff?
no, sir, it was all free.
my
I'm all good.
And by free, you mean taxpayer funded?
Yeah, well, it did come in, and it was like the 3 orders that I wanted, or 4, they all came in at once. We got 14 pallets worth. We did issue those out to the healthcare facilities, to the hospital, the EMS, to the fire guys, to law enforcement. So we're okay. We're okay. So that's not a fear anymore for us. So that came out really good. So and then we've got just a little bit of stock that we're hanging on to, depending on what happens January, February. So we're doing good. So
Good.
thanks,
Merry
guys.
Christmas. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your reporting. You do a good job reporting, keeping us abreast of
Well, thank you.
what's going on.
I think we're all supposed to know what's going on, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We all know.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
County Attorney report, Mr. Baxter.
I don't have anything that I need to report. Yeah, I was in court this morning on WebEx. That's why I was a minute late. Couldn't get out. So just sitting in front of my computer in court. That's all.
Yeah, in computer court, yeah.
But as far as stuff to report in public, I don't have anything.
Okay.
I have actually a question for you, and I'm going to pull it up. I know I had sent it to you earlier. I need to send it to myself again so I can bring it up at the top of the list.
You're not going to ask me
No.
Not that question.
No.
Can't ask me that, man. Not now.
Do we need to get the sheriff here to help you get?
Yeah, do we need to get somebody to help you open up?
You need somebody 5% smarter than what you've got. So I received an email from Terry Wheeler, and I'm trying to find the one with the attachments.
Oh, the resolution she wants.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
I
and.
recall what it is, so you go ahead and speak over me as soon as you want to. Mr.
Well,
Powers.
I'll start right now.
Okay.
As you know, the county has agreed to act as a pass-through agency for DOLA funding for the Calkins Commons project. And one thing, so they got an email from DOLA saying, asking us to pass a resolution, and I did not get said resolution ready for today because I want to bring it to your attention first. But that resolution I'm bringing up on the screen now is what DOLA wants us to pass to get the money through for the affordable housing project. And it says, whereas the blank Montezuma County, State of Colorado has made an application for the Community Development Block Grant funds from the State of Colorado, and whereas in accordance with Section 519 of Public Law 101-144, HUD Appropriations Act requires certain statements of assurances and certifications. Now therefore be it resolved that pursuant to the grant being granted by the state, Montezuma County by administrative act does adopt a statement of policy prohibiting the use of excessive force by law enforcement agencies within its jurisdiction against any individuals engaged in nonviolent civil rights demonstrations. And so I fired back an email, haven't heard back yet, wanting to know just what in the fornication this has to do with affordable housing.
Right, exactly. Where did that come from?
Well, I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems to me like a completely
totally unrelated,
politically backhanded way of trying to push us into making a political statement. As far as I'm concerned, and John should probably shut me up here, but I'm not sure it's the Board of Commissioners' position to tell the sheriff or the city of Cortez or the town of Mancos how to enforce the law with their law enforcement.
Well, I think that's the problem with HUD's rule here, is that whether they want this policy statement or not, this board isn't really in a position to use excessive force on anybody, and so, or has that control and power. And so if they want that from law enforcement agencies, you know, that should come from a law enforcement agency, that policy statement. You all don't have your own police agency. You don't, there's an elected official over the sheriff's department.
Exactly.
And so, you know, with all that said, I think it's nonsensical that they require that from the BOCC when you don't have the authority over that. It's not within your purview. Perhaps it's harmless for you all to make that statement if it withholds the money that you all want to help with. You know, I don't know that it's necessarily has any detrimental effect to sign that thing. It just doesn't make any sense. However, if they're not going to give you money unless you make this policy statement, I do think it's harmless to say it. But I also think it's completely outside of your purview for you all to be making comments on law enforcement, excessive force.
I think I'd like to hear back from DOLA, because from where I stand, it looks like a big document full of bovine excrement.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
wait till we hear back from DOLA, and I don't see a reason to sign it if it has that in it either. Doesn't need to have that in there. Like you said, it's not within our...
They're shooting an angle here for something,
Sure.
and I'm not sure what, but they're shooting an angle for
Well,
something.
it doesn't
to
have
get
anything to do with affordable housing.
No, it does not, and it doesn't have anything to do with this Board of County Commissioners. Like John said, we're not an enforcement agency. We don't. Our elected official that runs that. So there's some bogus reason that they're shooting this thing at us, and
So we'll wait for a response from DOLA, and then we'll
and
go
tell
from
them
there.
that if you're going to withhold money over this deal, we'll have another discussion about it. But that's so out of line. I can't believe that. Some liberal progressive put that in there, baby.
So we'll wait
Anyways,
for
I
a
was just seeing
response.
if I could get anybody's blood pressure up.
Well, I'm certain. The only thing that I'm a little bit verklempt about is you called it bovine. I think it might have something to do with sheep or bunny excrement, not just bovine. I think you're being a little bit narrow-minded there, Shaq.
Bovine as a bull. It could also
Yeah.
be equine.
Yeah,
Which would
equine,
be horse.
exactly. I don't think I think you need to broaden your horizons a little bit, Shaq.
Do we have natural resources, planning and public lands report?
He should be coming. I'll go grab him.
Well, we could.
I can make my
get the
report. I don't
commissioner-
have a report.
I don't see his book.
I've got it.
Yeah, yeah. Get
But
Go ahead,
I'll do
Commissioner
it quickly, because we've actually already talked about most of it. One was I actually had talked to Rob earlier last week and just kind of give you guys a briefing on the road slip down on G Road. He did get the chairman, Manuel Hart, to sign a declaration so that they have, and it's good for a year, so that they have the capability of going in and out of there as they need to get all of their exploration done for their drilling to see how to get that road stabilized down there, and then
Good.
to make a plan to move forward with it. Again, I'm working with CDOT to see if there's any way that we can
Get some
get some
funding
kind
from
of funding with that. I talked about the MBT as far as getting out the products that Spratland had ordered for the businesses for their survey. I did talk to James Dietrich briefly also on the RFP getting put together for the sign for downstairs.
Yeah.
I don't think we're finished with that yet. And also too, what it's going to take to get the water, irrigation water, if it's possible to get it to the courthouse. So that's kind of in play also. It's just a process now of seeing what we can or cannot do. And I also told him, I said, let's think outside of the box and see what we can or cannot do, with different landscaping plans or views, because water's going to be a big
Water's
deal,
gonna
and
be
if we
water.
have to, we might be able to use just some potable water for some green spots, and it might be better than trying to get the irrigation water down there. So
I think, that's a good tack, Jim, because I think xeriscaping out there at that courthouse is going to be the best avenue, the least amount of water that you can put out there.
and I also brought up a crazy idea, and I've showed you guys this picture that I took in Albuquerque couple years ago, but and here again, I mean, we'd have to get some buy-in for this, but they were just chipped tires, and then they were painted green.
Yeah.
And it
There you
actually,
go. Looked pretty decent.
so
There's some.
I just
yeah.
thinking outside of the box to see what we can or cannot do to get that, because
Okay.
the acreage out there is large.
Yeah.
And
And maintenance costs and stuff at that courthouse is already expensive. It's a big expense to this county, and I think we need to pay attention how to keep that as minimal as possible.
Yeah. So we're just kind of really trying to move forward with some different ideas of how we get that.
Maybe we could
Taken
talk to
care of.
49 Squares and put a foot of
So,
Put a foot of mulch on there. Yeah, foot of
and
bark.
we didn't,
Bark it.
because of everybody outside looking at the stars last night, we didn't meet. So that will conclude my report.
Who didn't meet last night?
the
The
counties.
mighty dozen, the counties,
Oh,
the
counties,
12 counties
okay.
on the southwestern side.
Well, I'd just like to let everybody know that every week Commissioner Candelaria gives me a time that he puts on there that but he thinks that the meeting will conclude. And every time it looks like I'm going to win, he seems to talk a lot so that
He knows how to set the clock, doesn't
Yes.
he? He knows how to reset the clock. Yeah.
The dealer always seems to have the advantage,
Yes.
don't they?
I see we have my deal's quick. I had a WIR meeting, a public lands meeting with NACO, a lot of big changes going on, and I would think in a negative way for
Absolutely.
Our
Deb
public-
Holland, I'm going to tell you what, that
So-
Department of Interior appointment, I'm going to tell you what, look out, man. You better hang on, you better grab on.
Yeah, so
That's
there'll be,
going.
anyway, I see we have our natural resource and planning with James Dietrich. So come on up, James.
Morning,
And
James.
Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. So I guess I'll lead off with, I think you all got the notice that the BLM has signed off on their travel management plan. So all the plans that are associated with that, they will begin moving forward on. And of course, that's going to begin with NEPA. So-
Yeah. And I hope, James, that you have sent the Forest Service and the BLM our RS-2477 resolution and our maps declaring that those are county roads now, that we've designated a good number of those Forest Service roads and BLM, Canyon of the Ancients National Monument roads are now county roads and not necessarily under the jurisdiction of the BLM, Canyon of the Ancients, or the Forest Service.
Right, we have not sent that notice to them yet, but that
I'd like for you
does
to
need
do
to
that
happen.
soon, yeah.
Okay.
I think they need to be aware of that.
Yeah, I think as far as I understand, all the mapping has been corrected, so I mean, we're tying up the ends on that. So.
Okay. The sooner the better.
Okay. So also want to let commissioners know that Central Federal Lands is still working on the agreement that we've got in place for them. Things sound like it's going to move forward with that. We've got an extension on our original agreement with them, and I've talked with GOCO about this, CPW that is, boy, all the acronyms. But again, I think they understand where we're going with this, and they are going to make it difficult on us. We're going to have to do a reimbursable, invoice by invoice. But anyway, that's the way the sticks afloat in there. So we've issued the notice to proceed with OTAC on the Cortez side to get moving forward with the MMOF funds. So we're moving on that. For the administration building sign out in the front, we've got an RFP that's been put out for that. I just noticed the paper on that, so it should run this week, next week, and the following week. We've got one individual that's already working with us on getting a proposal together. So hopefully we'll get something back in on that soon. We'll be working on the letter to the BLM regarding the Flowdine and Yellow Jacket Section 106 review. I don't know if I'll have it by next week, but we'll have it shortly thereafter. I think the incoming commissioners are certainly going to be very supportive of the same position that you gentlemen have taken, so we'll continue with that. And then, I just wanted to finish up. We're still getting a steady amount of calls on floodplains this year, which is an indication that things are still moving and happening up in the Dolores River Valley. And again, this hasn't been a flood of floodplain calls by any stretch of the imaginations. I mean, if we get 4 or 5 a year, that's a big year. This year we've had 4 or 5, and we've had 4 or 5 investigations beyond that. So this has been a big year. Despite COVID and all the challenges we faced, it does appear that some property is still developing up there. So,
Well, I think you're going to see COVID develop a lot of property in Montezuma County.
I'm thinking that might be a result of it, yes.
I think there's going to be a lot happen here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess that concludes my report. If there's anything else from the commissioners?
Commissioners? Merry Christmas.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you all, too. All right. Very good.
Looks like we're going to go to public comment. Anybody comment? And I see Jane in the back that's got her house plans.
Her house plans.
Do you have something you need the commissioners?
I have it signed.
Okay.
You've already agreed to this, approved this, and this is for the Smith 2 lot minor subdivision.
Subdivision.
I just got the plat.
Okay. So this would be addendum to our agenda, but we're going to sign a Mylar, the commissioners. So.
And I did actually have one other thing. I got a call from the fire chief of the Cortez Fire Protection District. They had a conference call with Loves talking about fire flow down there, and I can't even think of the name of it, Montezuma
Blue
District
Door.
1 or Blue Door, whatever
Blue
they
Door
go
Water
by.
District down there.
They don't have a large enough supply, but they can supply it through a tanker shuttle. It's just going to take them a required amount of time to get it set up. Loves is okay with it. The Fire Protection District is okay with it. So it was another positive that's moving that forward. So just to let you guys know and the public know that the Cortez Fire Department is working very diligently to make sure that happens also.
That's great.
So
Good.
it'll
They've
be
got
through
their
a tanker
Station
shuttle
2s
right now.
down there just straight
Correct.
south of that Love's place, not
Yeah.
a quarter of a mile or eighth of a mile
Yeah.
probably.
So that they have, the capability of setting
Yeah.
up a tanker shuttle to make it
Compliant.
happen.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
So
good.
it was positive.
Shaq, you.
Jane, for the record, can you say whose Mylar that is, just so we have it on the record?
It's the Randy Smith.
2 lot minor. So.
In Mancus.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Sign it, Jill.
what? I'm great other than I walked 2 3/4 mile yesterday and then my legs got stiff on me. I've been doing 2 2 1/4 and I upped a little and man, I'll tell you, I was up this morning.
are good, but the legs are.
No, the knee, that's why they just stiffened up. They're just stiff and I haven't got it over there. No, everything's good, man.
Good.
COVID was a blast. COVID was bullshit.
Good for you. Yeah, you look good. You look
Yeah,
good.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Gonna go get my shoulder fixed the 8th of January and then I'm done. I'm done,
You
baby.
gotta start some process someday.
It comes to us all with age, Jim, let me tell you, it comes to us all.
No one told me that fighting broncs and
Oh, and doing the stupid
oil
stuff.
field stuff was gonna
Well,
cause
the
these problems.
stupid.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, all
Commission-
that dumb stuff we did in our youth was gonna come back for a payday, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big payday.
Commissioners,
There's no warranty on this body.
No.
Commissioners, anything else good for the order?
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask John Baxter, have we had any movement? Jim and I were talking about, the Commissioner Candelaria and I earlier, about the MVI court deal on the,
Yeah, I updated you all a bit ago. We're filing for certiorari with the Supreme Court to see if they'll take
Okay.
it.
Uh-huh.
That's almost, it's basically ready to get filed. It's due on the 24th, so
Okay.
it'll get filed momentarily.
Okay.
And then we wait and see whether or not they take it.
see if they'll take a look at it. Okay. All righty, that's all I've got.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye, aye.
Aye, aye.
Boy, you were on